Hey folks, Damien with Southpaw Designs, and in today's quick woodworking tip, I'm going to show you how to find the absolute center of a circle every time with nothing more than a ruler or a square, which should already be in your shop. Now, there are tools that will help you find the center of a circle, such as this handy dandy little jig here. But you don't want to put the money into something like this. There's still a very easy way to do it. Now, before we get into how you might do it using a ruler or a square, let's talk about the mechanics behind a tool like this. Okay, so all that we have right here is simply a 90-degree angle that is bisected by a 45-degree angle. So if you were to take this jig, put it on your circle, and draw a mark in a couple of different locations, you have got your circle. But again, you don't need to have one of these to accomplish just that task. So I'm going to clean this off, and then I'm going to show you how to do it with just a ruler or a square. All right, so I've sanded off my marks. Now all that I need to have is a ruler or square that is at least as wide as my circle. So, to begin with, I'm going to place a couple of chords. Now, all that a chord is it's a line that intersects 2 points of a curve. Now, I'm going to also measure it and place one, the 13-inch mark, and then the 3-inch mark. So I've actually got 10 inches right there. And I'm just going to draw a line all the way across. Now, you don't have to draw the line necessarily all the way across, but you do want a wide line, and I'll show you why in just a second. So 3, and we also need to mark the center point right there. Now, I'm going to draw 2 more. You only really need to do 1, but I'm going to do 2 just to check my work. So there's another one, also at 10 inches. The width really doesn't matter as long as you mark the center. So I'm going to mark at the 8-inch mark, which is halfway between 3 and 13. And then just to show you that it'll work with different widths, I'll go from 4 to 15, which is 11, and halfway to that would be 9.5. So there's the 9.5 mark, and there you go. Now, why is it important for you to make this line wide? Well, you can just mark the dead center right there and only make it about 1 inch wide. But what we need to do now is we need to place this dead center and then draw a 90-degree mark up. And if you only have a really narrow mark right here, then it might look like it's straight and it's 90 degrees, but it could be slightly off by a couple of degrees, which would throw off your results. So I make that mark wide so that I can check all the way out. It's more likely to be exactly 90 degrees or as close to 90 degrees as I can get it manually by doing that. Now, let's do the same thing for our other marks. And let's see how close I was able to get it. So now let's bring the jig back and let's take a look. Did pretty good right there. Pretty good right there. Pretty good right there. So it looks like we did a pretty good job with that. So looks like we did a decent job using nothing more than a square and a half sharpened pencil. Now, obviously, you can use this technique anytime you need to find dead center of a circle. I find it especially handy when I'm trying to figure out where to drill when I'm creating something like a clock. And remember that the math is solid. The math is absolute. The only reason that you might not get an absolute correct measurement is if you measure incorrectly, your pencil isn't sharp enough, or you don't make accurate markings. Hey, and if you enjoyed that and got some use out of it, make sure that you hit that subscribe button below, because one thing I'm going to be doing this summer is bringing you several quick, easily digestible woodworking tips that you can bring into your own shop. And since you're still here, make sure you check out this video, which is a 10-minute woodworking project that anybody can make. If you enjoyed this, my name is Damien. This is Southpaw Designs. And if you haven't enjoyed it, I'm John Malecki.